Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Daniel Krieger. I'd like to thank Dustin for the introduction to root cause analysis. Uh, I worked with you gentlemen for several months now, and I feel that these tools can aid us in transitioning from a reactive maintenance to a preventative maintenance. Today we're going to be discussing the 5 whys, the cause and effect, and the appropriate uses of these tools. Let's start off with the 5 whys. So the 5 whys were developed in 1930 by Mr. Toyota, founder of Toyota Industries, and was made popular amongst other companies in the 1970s according to Monson Tools. Helps isolate the tools and the team. These tools help focus a group to what actually caused the problem. Instead of just fixing the temporary problem, it's a long-term fix. Let's move on to an example. In the first example, my truck stops in the middle of Highway 64. So let's ask why. Because I ran out of gas. Why did I run out of gas? Because of the fact that I didn't fill up before coming to work. So I didn't fill up because I don't have any money. Why don't I have any money? Because I lost last night's poker game. Why did I lose last night's poker game? Because I have a terrible poker face. So we follow these chains of whys and we see that I have a terrible poker face as the reason that my truck stopped in the middle of Highway 64. They seem unrelated, but one caused the other, no less. So either I can stop playing poker or I can get a better poker face. And this will allow me to have money to pay for the gas to get to work. Let's look at the example we can apply right here in the plant. Burner 402 keeps breaking belts. Instead of just continuously replacing the belts, let's look at why. Well, the clutch keeps locking up. Why does the clutch keep locking up? Because of the fact there's no oil in the clutch housing. Why isn't there oil in the clutch housing? Because no one's checking the oil levels. It's just get neglected. So why is no one checking the oil levels? Because it's not on the PM. If it's not on the PM, it's not going to get done unless it's broke. So we can add this to the PM, and now we have someone continuously checking the oil levels. The clutch isn't locking up. The belts aren't being broke. This is a use of the 5 why technique. It doesn't always have to be 5 whys. It's just a general rule. It can be more, it can be a little bit less, as long as you're digging into it further than just what's broke. Let's move on to the cause and effect chart. The cause and effect chart was developed in 1960 by Professor Ishikawa, according to ASQ, and was made public in 1990 through publication of one of his books. SmartLink tells us that the way that we use this chart is you put your effect here, what has ultimately happened. So, for instance, 402's broken belts. And then you have your areas of topic, your areas of focus underneath this effect. And under these topics, or under these areas of focus, you'll break it down further. Let's look at an example. So here we have the flashlight's not working. Our areas of focus are the wiring, the switch, the battery, and the bulb. And under each area of focus, we have subtopics, as you can see. For instance, under the bulb, we have a broken bulb, or maybe the bulb's missing. So let's say our flashlight's not working, and we look into it a little bit further, and it's the bulb. So the bulb's broken, okay? Well, problem's fixed, right? We put a new bulb in it, we're good to go. Flashlight's working. Wrong. What caused the bulb to be broken? The whole point of this chart is to figure out what originally caused it, and not just what's broke. So if we look into why the bulb's broke, well, maybe the operator's dropping the flashlight. And the reason he's dropping it is because his hand's covered in oil. So if we put something in place, maybe a simple lanyard on the flashlight, now the operator, when he drops the flashlight, it hangs on his wrist, it no longer bounces across the floor, and the bulb's not being broken. Let's move on to the appropriate, let's move on to another chart. It's just more practical use of this chart. Would be your car is not starting. So you have your areas of focus, and then you have your subtopics under each. And you would apply the 5 why techniques to each of these subtopics. And then as you fill out the chart, you'll go back and you'll basically eliminate areas. Okay, so say we look into the methods and we see the gear's in the wrong position. It's a possibility. Well, it's not in the wrong position. So we know that that's no longer a problem. We can move on to a different area. All right, let's move on to the appropriate uses of these tools. The 5 whys is used in quality improvement, simple recurring problems, whereas the cause and effect chart is again quality improvement, more advanced problems and multiple causes. an outcome. So you could have multiple contributing causes to this one effect, and the cause and effect chart through brainstorming and a team will allow you to isolate that. Just to review what we've covered the 5 whys, the appropriate uses of these, and the cause and effect chart. You should be able to use these tools to aid you in your RCA. If there are any questions, now's a good time. I appreciate you gentlemen letting me talk in front of y'all today. And I look forward to you all working with y'all in the future.